What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. This is the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys for all of your love and support. Over 1,100 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys, so I thank you so very much. Today, I have a treat, you guys. I have boxer turned actor and one of the featured actors in this upcoming sequel, The Equalizer 2, with Denzel Washington, Kazy Tauginas. Hey, Kazy.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good today, Kazy. How you doing?
I'm good. It's a beautiful day in LA. I'm ready for this Equalizer 2 premiere.
Absolutely, as we all are looking forward to it. So, Kazy, let our audience know, where are you from? Where do you represent?
I'm originally from Chicago. I lived in Oak Park, right outside of the West Side. I grew up there, and then when I went to college, I jumped coasts and headed to the East Coast and went to the school, University of Delaware, for college. So
Gotcha.
I spent most of my time on, in the Midwest and the East Coast. So
Gotcha.
LA is a different pace for me.
It's a different beast. It is.
Yeah.
So, as you were a young child, Kazy, what was your dream career? What did you want to be?
It's funny when you're young and you're kind of uninhibited. You think, I think the first job when my parents said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I said I wanted to be a cowboy because I used to love Western movies.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I always had this affinity for film, and when I was probably a little more mature, I started saying I want to be a movie writer. That was my 3 to 4 years old. Like, I want to write movies, and it's funny because as you grow up and dealing with the stimuli from everyone, no one ever encourages you to do something like follow your dream. I feel like a lot of times you're encouraged to just get a 9 to 5 and just fall in line with what society deems is doable, quote unquote doable. But those were my beginnings. But the love of film was always there.
Yes. Now, as we were talking about your love of films, I want to talk about the inspiration behind your project, Standing 8.
Well, Standing 8 is a short film, an award-winning short film about a professional boxer who's diagnosed with systemic lupus and then forced to retire. The inspiration for that film really came from my mother, who suffers from systemic lupus, nephritis, so it attacks her kidneys. And I've kind of been watching the most important woman in my life battle it out on a daily basis. And when I was younger, I really didn't understand why she would be tired all the time, or why she had to slowly pull out of full-time positions and get down to part-time, and then it just got to the point where she just was unable to work. But as I got older and more mature, and especially once I started acting and getting into the film world, these things started to really affect me as I got more in touch with myself emotionally, and I realized it was really important to raise awareness, because anytime you told anyone that your mom has lupus or they're affected with lupus, no one knew what you were talking about. They were like, "Oh, what's that? Yeah. Oh, I've heard of that, but what does it do?" Oh, well, your mom doesn't look sick. And I felt that I wanted, when I started writing, of course, when I first came into the entertainment world, and I really wanted to just tell a story that was entertaining but educational in the same token. And coming from a boxing background, and yet having to be cast as a boxer, I wanted to kind of take these two aspects of my life and put them together, and that's really what inspired me. I wanted to raise lupus awareness, but also play a boxer in the same token, and that's how we came up with Standing 8.
Awesome. Now, if people want to check out this project, where can they go to actually catch it?
Well, right now, we were just finishing up our run in the festival circuit. We screened at 28 festivals worldwide. And the next step is going to be releasing it on a streaming platform. The one we're looking at right now is Amazon. And hopefully once all of the contracts and everything are taken care of, we'll be up on Amazon to rent or buy hopefully later this summer. We'll definitely follow up with everyone once we have a set release date.
All right, and you got our support out here. I'm holding down the ATL, so we would definitely be supporting that. And my baby sister actually suffers from complications from lupus as well, so it is a near and dear project to my heart. So I'm ecstatic about it and super excited that you guys are bringing about more awareness. So we'll do all of that.
Yeah, I'm honored to be able to speak for that audience because awesome. I feel they're very underrepresented.
Absolutely. And not to say that there's anything, not taken away from other diseases, but I feel as though lupus is one that it doesn't get as much recognition because, people want to talk about cancer and those are horrible and debilitating diseases, but lupus is also changing people's lives for not great causes. So.
Yeah. 1.5 million in the U.S. alone.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, you guys. So we're going to hang tight. We're talking more with Kazy. When we come back, we're going to talk about this summer blockbuster, woo woo, that's going to be blowing up all across the country, all across the world. So we're going to talk about Equalizer 2. You guys hang tight. We'll be right back.
Did you know that some foods can cause weight gain, body aches, and extreme fatigue? These are just some of the symptoms of food intolerance. Well, what is food intolerance? Food intolerance can occur when the body cannot properly digest certain foods. This can result in acid reflux, migraines, and so many other painful issues. How do you find out what foods are causing this irritation? It's easy. Pinner Test. With 500,000 satisfied clients worldwide, Pinner Test is the #1 way of identifying foods that may be causing discomfort. This simple at-home kit is easy to use with results usually within 2 weeks via email. It's that simple, all right? What are you waiting for? Go visit pinnertest.com and use my special promo code AshSaidIt for your discount today.
What's up, you guys? It's your girl, AshSaidIt.com. We are chatting with Kazy Tauginas, and he is featured in The Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington this Friday, July the 20th. It's going to be in theaters. Kazy, tell us about your role in this movie.
So in Equalizer 2, I play Ari, and I'm a high-paid assassin who sets his sight on Robert McCall, Denzel Washington's character. And I work with a team of other assassins, and basically the movie is about us going to war with Robert McCall.
Wow. So what tidbits or... Did you get any tidbits or any help or advice from Denzel as far as your acting style?
Well, Denzel is extremely committed to the characters that he plays. So when we're on set, it's really just about the work that we're going to do in the scene. And the scenes that we had with Denzel were incredibly intense. When I was working with him one-on-one, it was really to, I followed his lead because he's a legend and he knows, he has it down to a science and he makes it look easy, but, we had to get very physical. So it was just, we just went to work. And I think when there's that initial, once you get past that initial shock value of you're like, wow, I'm standing across from the man, the legend, the one and only. And once those thoughts kind of leave your mind, you're like, okay, well, we got a job to do, and we got to make this look good. And we were both fully committed to making our scene, the one where we're one-on-one, just really just go to the next level. And really, I can say I just totally followed his lead because he's a master of his craft.
Yes. Wow. So what would you say made the shift for you from boxing to acting? That's a pretty broad...
Well, years ago, it's funny, I had my sport of choice growing up was actually figure skating. And I just really... When I got older, I realized it was the performance aspect of that I really enjoyed, but I always had this overwhelming burning desire to box and learn how to box. And when I stepped away from skating, I pretty much, probably within about a 6-month period, I ended up visiting a boxing gym in West Grove, PA, Left Jab Boxing Club. And Cliff Johnson, the head trainer there, just took me under his wing, and I started training. And also at that time, when I ended up getting out of college, I owned a 24-hour diner for 5 years, and boxing probably kept me sane because I really needed an outlet at that time. Because, as you know, having a business can be very stressful when it's just you trying to manage things.
Yeah.
And boxing was definitely an incredibly healthy outlet. I competed. I fought in the Golden Gloves. I had 13 amateur fights. And it's funny because I feel like starting to kind of, when you take that step to really do something that you've always really wanted to do, like boxing was always in the back of my mind. I always wanted to learn. I just never took the step until I got a little older. And I regret none of it because boxing actually, even though other than Standing 8, I had yet to be cast as a boxer in a film, it opened up doors for me because when people would read the resume for you as an actor, they go, oh, this guy can do his own physical stuff. You used to be a boxer. And then they ask you about that. And it kind of puts you in a different arena than other actors who might have not had participated in such physical combat sports or whatever, or did combat sports but never actually competed. And I felt that boxing became a very useful tool for me as an actor. It definitely was a very seamless transition because there's a lot of films that involve physicality. There's a lot of films that actually revolve around fighting, and it's become a really useful tool in my acting arsenal.
Okay. Now, assuming, Kazy, that on some strange place in some strange land somewhere, you actually have some free time. You have an off day. What does Kazy like to do?
An off day. Well, the truth is, I would probably go for a run because, if I don't do anything physical, I feel like I'm melting. So I would probably go for a nice run, and then I would have to find something good to watch, either at the theater or Netflix or Amazon, because there's so much content nowadays that I feel like you can always find something good that's in your wheelhouse. So if I'm not necessarily watching, I also do quite a bit of reading, and mostly on my off days I just take the time to just really relax and just give myself some of that me time that I think nowadays we desperately need. Just put down the phone, get rid of the phone, hide it somewhere, turn it off, and just be. Because I think that's a thing that a lot of people don't do nowadays. They get so involved in the rat race, or they get so involved in social media, which is just really a big distraction from sometimes the things that need to be done, or just taking care of yourself, simply just being able to take care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. Yeah. That makes sense.
It does. It totally makes sense. Now, last but certainly not least, Kazy, what advice can you offer to anybody today that has a dream on their heart and they just haven't acted on it yet?
Well, being that I was a latecomer to the acting and entertainment industry, I would say that if you feel something in your heart that you really want to do, you absolutely have to do it. You have to find a way to do it. You have to start doing it, whether it's just painting or whatever you feel in your heart, you have to do, because I feel like that's something that's God-given. That's something that's speaking to you. That's your instinct. That's really what you have to do. And if you don't do it, you'll have a regret. And I'm a firm believer in living this life so that you don't have any regrets. And I think that a lot of folks nowadays, they don't listen to that little voice that tells them, hey, this is what you want to do. And it's different for everyone. Everybody has a different thing that speaks to them. Yeah. But it can be done. I went from not knowing a single solitary person in the entertainment industry, and I was able to get to this point because I felt a pull, I felt an urge, I felt an overwhelming desire to get into acting, and that was when I went back to school for it was 2009, and it's now 2018. So I feel like if I can do it, anyone can do it. So I strongly encourage people to follow their heart, and even if they can only do it in small steps, just keep going into that direction because it will satisfy your soul.
I love it. Kazy, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Kazy, let our audience know the best way to keep up with you, social media-wise, and all that other good stuff.
Oh, yeah, sure. They can follow me on Instagram at Kazy Tauginas, KazyTauginas. At Kazy Tauginas on Instagram.
Sounds like a plan. Much more success to you, Kazy. And we're looking forward to this Friday, July the 20th, for the Equalizer 2. We will be front and center and sending out much more love and support to all our lupus survivors. All of our lupus fighters that are out there doing it up in a major and massive way, sending that love and support out there. So you guys go out, check that movie this Friday, July 20th. I'm your girl, Ash Brown. Keep in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face and tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is way better. Until next time, you guys.